receivers. It's like we've been able to receive that pain, but outsource it in many different ways. Mm-hmm. You know, we'll find ways to get around it. Whereas black men keep it in, and that fear keeps pounding. And it's like they don't know how to be anymore. They don't know how to live in their most authentic self. And so it creates this friction, because as black women, we move through our pain. Even if it's painful, we continue to move. Whereas the black man will sit and let it fester, and it just become it and walk with it. You know what I'm saying? And so it's the way that we process it differently. And so when it comes to black women, that can even correlate. When it comes to black women, the reason why we coddle is probably because we see that building pain that's there, and we're like, well, maybe if I just love you a little bit more harder, if I love you a little bit more stronger, then maybe you can. And that even goes to a woman staying in a relationship knowing that he ain't shit,
girl, if
you know, but maybe I could be. Right. You know, and that even goes to me.
Maybe I could be.
That goes to me, and reason why I wrote that voice note, because I remember my guy friend at this point. He's my guy friend. When I was talking to him, like, you know, I felt a vibe with him, and I really wanted to explore something with him. And he being like, nah, you know, like I just feel like it should be this, but he wanted me there emotionally for him. And it's just crazy. I just said all that, but he wanted me there emotionally for him, but he didn't want to give me what I deserved. You know what I'm saying? And so that plays, and I in my head, I was thinking, I even started questioning myself, and the Leo in me was like, you got me fucked up. But I'm like, well, what's wrong with me? Like, I'm dope as fuck. Like, you know, like, why wouldn't you want to be with me? Like, and I it's like, I don't want you to want to be with me, but I want you to feel the vibe. Like, we've been vibing all this time. And so it causes you to question yourself. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what society has done to us. That same pain and that same disarray causes people to not see themselves as they truly are. And that's why I constantly, like, when I see a black man, I love to call him king. Right. Because you are a king. I want you to step up. I love when a man can step in the room as a king. You feel me? Everybody know, because that see, people, that's what people say about my energy sometimes. It's like, Wasila, when you step in the room, it's like the way you carry yourself.
I don't mean to cut you off. Yeah. But to be completely honest, this is my first time meeting her, y'all. And when I just saw your picture, I felt that. And this is the thing. I want every woman to feel that way. I want every man to feel that way, because when you start to identify who you are, it's so profound. Black people are vibrational. And when we understand what we are fucking, like, white people know who we are. That's why they continue to devise plans to kill us, population control, to get us out of here, because they know our power. But imagine if we knew who the fuck we really were. Right. If we knew how powerful, like, we are we are indebted into this earth. Yes. Like, and that's what I be wanting, like, don't let like I came up with this saying a while ago. I said, as black women, we give birth and we create life. Why would you let a nigga play with your life? Right, girl, say that.
When you've been giving the ability to create, literally, we have the ability to speak things into existence. We are meditation, thoughts, prayers. Like, we are all of these things. So why would you let anybody belittle you and not know your power? Right. Your power and who you are is what God brought you to this earth for. So you can't move in an ordinary, you can't move like everybody else. You got to understand who you are and what you carry. And when you do that, then you can move through earth in life and be purposeful and leave your mark everywhere you go. I don't want people to leave me feeling the same. I want you to take something from me and be like, you know what? I remember she said this to me and it planted a seed, and now I'm doing this and now I'm growing. We are messengers. We need sometimes from people, you need to receive certain messages so that you can get to the next playing field of where you're trying to go.
Girl, preach it. I'm
not trying to preach, girl.
No, this is. I'm gonna keep it 100% honest. This is probably one of the best episodes. Just listening to you. You 25. You sure? Yes. I'm having such a good time talking to you, man. Okay, so I know y'all got a busy schedule. I'm sure y'all got to get out of here soon. But before we get out of here, I just want to talk. Now with you being an RB senior, trying to get up there. How do you feel it is for you being a black woman trying to make it in Hollywood? Trying to,
Well, I ain't took over Hollywood. I don't think Hollywood ready for me. That's we just gonna say it like that because I'm from down south. We keep it all the way 100.
Okay,
we
let
real.
me say entertainment then.
Yeah, entertainment. I would say it is what it is. I think that it's a balance of when you come in the game, you really have to prove why you deserve to be here. And so it's a balance of that, and it's a balance of knowing who you are and never forgetting who you are. And so I've yet to even blossom. The material, the everything that I'm giving as far as my vision is the beginning. This is not even the beginning. I haven't even really just blossomed yet. So I think the more that I move with my force and move with what I'm supposed to be doing and stay the course, I think that doors are going to continue to open up for me because I'm in my purpose. I stay in my purpose and I stay with my force and I stay with what's right for me. So I think that in due time, people are going to understand why I deserve to be where I'm at and where I'm going, and people are going to open doors for me because there's been times where I'm like, oh, you know me?
Right.
But it's just like people can't. I'm a vibe, and I'm not saying that in a cocky way, but I know who I am and I know where I want to go and I know what it is that I want to do. And it's not just a selfish reason. It's not just because I want the cameras, the light, and everybody looking at me. Ooh, I'm dope and I'm fly. No, it's because I really got a message.
Just what I was gonna say.
So,
but I feel like it's gonna be hard for you. Well, do you think it's harder for you being a woman, but let alone a black woman, though?
Let me say this. Look here. Real, recognize real. So, as a black woman, it could be hard, but I'm not gonna play around with fragile male egos.
Right.
I'm not going to toy with the bull. I done already been through a situation in the local scene of Houston with dealing with someone who had a male that had a very fragile ego. I keep it pushing, and it's crazy because when that happened, I thought that nobody will really work with me or fuck with me because he had a little, status. And it's so funny because I did more for me than he could ever do for me. He came with all the promises in the world and I want to do this and you ain't do shit. You ain't do shit for the other people.
Right.
And so I think that as long as I continue to be myself, I'm not worried about the obstacles. I don't see them more so as obstacles, but just ways of just becoming more creative and redefining why I'm not to be fucked with.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
I want to say though, for me, I want to get into hosting. I want to be on somebody's TV hosting. So, but because they always say it's harder for women, and then it's always even harder for black women.
Yeah.
For me personally, I feel so much more prouder doing this being a black woman. You know what I mean? 'Cause the fact that it is harder for us because I know I'm gonna get there.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah. And you have to have that determination spirit. Like this is you want to get to a place where you become so insane that people just don't even recognize that's out the norm. I'd rather be crazy than to not be living in my truth and in my purpose.
Exactly.
And so if you don't get it, you gon' fuck with it later. And that's the mentality that you gotta have because they shitted on Jesus.
Right.
But Jesus was Jesus.
Right.
So if they could do that for a person who went around healing people, I'm not Jesus, you know, but I'm up there with the disciples. You feel me? So like, what's up? You know?
Right.
And so you got to kind of just see it like that. Like, okay, well, so you said no. Okay, I'm going to give you 5,000 reasons why you shouldn't have said no. And I'm going to go over here, fuck it up real good, come back, and now the price has changed.
Right.
So everybody that didn't fuck with me then, you gonna fuck with me later, but my price is gonna be up. And when I come back, I'm not coming just to rent the building. I'm coming to buy the building.
Say that, girl. Say that. Okay. So last question I didn't get to ask you. So, like I said, majority of my guests usually are men, and I always like to ask them how they feel being a black man in today's society. What does it mean to them being a black man? Now, you, sis, how do you feel being a black woman in today's society with everything going on? And on top of that, what does it mean to you to be a black queen?
With everything that's going on, I ain't gonna lie, it could be overwhelming because I consider myself to be an empath, so I intake emotions like a lot. That becomes difficult, but what I love being a black woman. I wouldn't want to be anything else. I love being a proud Yoruba Nigerian woman. I find so much strength and solace in who and where I come from and my roots. And so, and even down to my name, it goes along with who I am. And so I love being a black woman. I think that it's the most profound, powerful thing that can't quite be replicated. I think it's the dopest thing to be, in this day and time, as a black woman and a black man. So I love being a black woman.
Me too.
Yeah.
You supposed to tell me, what does your name mean? What does Wasila mean?
So my name is Wasila Giwa, and it was actually supposed to be pronounced Wasilat, but my mama felt like that was just too much, so she was like Wasila. Okay.
I love it. Such a pretty name.
Thank you. I'm gonna give you the three meanings. So at my naming ceremony, I was given, it was meant to be the priest said that it means intercessor. And so he basically said that you would intercede on your parents' behalf, and that you were intercessor, like you intercede on people's behalves. And so that was the first meaning that I got, which I've always protected people and stood up for people. That's always been in my nature. And so then the next name that was given to me, the next meaning, I was working at Walmart. An African man came up to me, looked me dead in my eyes. He said, "Is your name Wasila?" I said, yes, it's on my name tag. He was like, beware, your name means tool. People will try and use you. And then he just walked off. I'm like,
damn,
you gotta do me like that? Like, okay, right. Like, okay, people been using me all my life. Like, I'm tired of being used. And so that was the second meaning. Then because my name is an Arabic name, so I went to this cell phone store for the third meaning that I got. This cell phone store, because I need to get my cell phone fixed. And I had like a little scarf on my head, so he thought that I was Muslim or something. And so he asked me like my name or whatever, and I told him Wasila. And I was like, so he told me that my name means the way. And when that was given to me in all of those meanings, so you the way, you the ancestor, and you a tool, meaning you are something that can be used in a mighty way, and plus you are the way, like you are the direction. So that gave me confirmation that I need to trust myself. My process is going to be more of a process of going within than without. It's going to be more of a process of me trusting my internal instincts to get me to the next level versus it's going to be something external. It's going to be me trusting the power that God has invested within me and listening to God to really get those revelations for the next step,
I love that. Yeah. Man, I wish I could see my face. I've been so just fascinated with just listening to you. I had an amazing time. I'm definitely gonna have to have you back on here again.
Yes, definitely.
So we're gonna call it a wrap. And before we get out of here, though, go ahead and tell the listeners, where we can follow you, where we can listen to your music. What's up?
Yes. So like I said, my name is Wasila Giwa.